So, yo. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a minute, but that doesn't mean we have not been watching sports, music, entertainment, whatever you want to call it. We've eyes and ears to the streets at all times, right? We can't avoid
So
it.
lucky. So lucky.
Um, and it's just like it never stops. Everything is always happening. Um, we're we're getting to that point in the sports world. Basketball's coming to an end. Football is starting up. Um, Baseball's at the peak right now. Hot dogs and beers everywhere right now.
Everywhere.
Uh, and
So
then
real quick, before we even since you started, bro, I have a friend who will remain nameless, who lives down in Atlanta. He works down in that market.
mhm,
My man got on Instagram maybe Friday or Saturday.
mhm.
I'm check the tape on that specifically what day it is, but I mean he made a foul of all fouls, flagrant two. Like it was unbelievable the way it it was actually on Monday. No, it wasn't Monday. That wasn't Monday. That wasn't Monday. It was Sunday. He went to the Braves game on Sunday and posted a 19-foot hot dog in his hands.
The extra long Glock Glizzy. That's a fact,
I
man.
immediately got on Instagram and jumped on his story and said, Joey Chestnut, you are the wildest boy
Well,
ever.
for one, you shouldn't be eating it. For two, damn sure you shouldn't be posting it. you know.
Dog, straight slathered in mustard. Took two hands to hold this motherfucker. I said, dog,
Hey,
you are
all right, bro. That's enough
disgusting.
right there. Where is this? How we're gonna start? Come on, bro. We got a lot to talk about. Wow. Yeah, flagrant on your man's though. um, but
Cause he went out there with the 3-footer. Like he out in
all right,
right
no, no,
field.
hey. We're gonna cut that right there. All right, we're gonna cut that right there. Um, Prayers and blessings to your man. Hopefully he learned a valuable lesson.
Like, let's be real. Like everybody, you go to a baseball game, you can get you a glizzy, bro. Go ahead, get you a hot dog. I'm cool with a hot dog off the grill at the parties, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm not photographing it.
All right, man.
There will be no video evidence.
Okay. Hey.
I told him, I said, dog, you
No,
still.
we're
We are exactly 1 month away from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, July
hey,
4th.
hey, listen, brother, that is enough. Okay. We got a lot to talk about here. And I really want to talk about some you might not see us that gets talked about as much as it should, right? Um, Obviously the NBA finals are coming up, baseball, football. But I want to talk about one of the fall of the greatest dynasties we've seen in the 21st century. The women's college Oklahoma Sooners softball team. I think they were on a run of, if I'm not mistaken,
Four straight.
four straight World Series
Going for
championships.
their fifth in a
This
row.
is this is it's one of the greatest runs we've seen in all things considered in sports in recent memory. Winning four championships in anything is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like doesn't matter the sport, whatever. And then to see them not, they did not. They didn't even make it to the World Series, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
So,
Made it to Oklahoma City. Did not make it to the World Series.
I mean, I think it's not fair for Oklahoma to be, champions twice. You got to spread the love a little bit.
I mean,
And
you won four straight, bro. Like,
four
let's relax.
straight, yeah.
I mean, I actually interviewed a young lady who is from this area out here in the Triad, North Carolina. She was from Kernersville. She actually plays for them now. She's a pitcher. She was National Player of the Year her senior year.
Hmm.
Number 1 recruit coming out of the class of 22.
Hmm.
And now she's a junior at Oklahoma. And basically lost for the first time. Well, the first season that didn't end in a national championship for her.
Right. And
So,
it's like I mean, there's not much to say other than they lost, but the shocking, like when these teams dominate for so long like this, you never know when the loss is coming. And
uh,
it doesn't matter when the loss happens; it's going to be equally shocking, right? If they lose in World Series, our mind is blown. They lose in the first round, our mind is blown. Like we don't know when the loss because you win 4 times in a row. We think you're gonna win every time until you don't win. That's
Yeah.
just how shit
This
works.
was the perfect storm, though. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, and I'm sure the people at home seen uh, the story of Najee Kennedy, the pitcher from Texas Tech, transferred from Stanford. Uh, she's a sophomore, I do believe. She was with Stanford last year. They lost to Oklahoma, and it was her first loss of like her career as a pitcher. Texas Tech, she jumped in the portal. Texas Tech, they pay her like 1.5 million. She's an Otani type of build too. She hits too. So
Yes.
just so, but she is the best pitcher in college softball by far. She's thrown every pitch for Texas Tech basically since the regional started, and she went out there and was prepared to shut out Oklahoma for the first time in 2 years. And they were down to their last strike. A young lady from Oklahoma came up, hit a 2-run bomb to tie the game in the top of the seventh,
Uh-huh.
and then Texas Tech ends up walking it off in the bottom of the seventh to knock off the queens of softball.
Yeah.
And Najee Kennedy, I mean, money well spent. Texas Tech. They paid her $500,000 in living and moving expenses. Then they paid her another 500,000 to jump in the portal. Then they paid her another 500,000 to come to Texas Tech. Something like that. My math might be off, but
Bro,
that's how
but
that's how they was getting.
we're also talking about women's college softball where, there's not these big TV deals, there's not, these big sponsorships. So that translates, bro, that's 10 million in college football NIL. That might be more than 10, bro. That might be 20 for real. Because
Now
we've
she's
been
getting way bigger bag than I would imagine than pretty much everybody but the
I
quarterback
didn't
at Texas Tech.
Bro, I had no idea. First of all, I had no idea that that type of money was in college softball.
But see, what people don't realize is softball is the number one sport for women in the United States of America.
I can believe
So,
that.
I mean, every year it kept college softball captivates the nation on ESPN when they start
Hmm.
the regionals. I mean, it's so fast paced. The young ladies are so talented, so athletic. It turned into a contact sport, just like pretty much every other women's sport does
Yeah.
when that level of competition gets up there. And I mean, these young ladies are spectacular. They sell out every game. I mean, the Olympics is coming to the United States in 2028.
Mhm.
All of the softball is supposed to be in Los Angeles, right? That's the host city. All the softball will be played in Oklahoma City because they got the best facility set up in the nation.
I mean, I believe if you win 4 times in a row, your state should probably have the. I know Oklahoma City is not the same as where University
Foreman,
of Oklahoma is, but I feel like it should your state should have some of the best softball facilities if you're producing that type of talent and results as well.
right? It's like Georgia high school football. Like, no wonder University of Georgia football is always in the mix because
Yeah,
Georgia
I mean,
football.
in high school football, no wonder Buford has whatever built a NFL stadium, um, like because it's just ridiculous. But no, I just thought that needed to be something to be said because that was one of the greatest runs we've seen. It's over now, and all good things must come to an end. But let's transition into another great run we're seeing from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Um, as a team, I think they're on a great run. And then personally, I think Tyrese Halliburton is on his own separate run. Um, and I think this is one of the most unexpected finals results that we've probably seen in a while. We usually can pick one team. I'm sure some people did have Oklahoma City get into the finals, but the West is always super tough. Obviously, you have Dallas, the Luca trade, and the Lakers, and the Clippers, and um, the Timberwolves, and you have all these stars in the West. Uh, but we really should be
Had
surprised.
Phoenix when the season started.
Yeah, we really shouldn't be surprised because OKC was, up there offensively, one of the best offensive teams. They were also one of the best defensive teams. And then they had, arguably the best player in basketball right now. So that seems like a perfect recipe for getting to the finals. But as we saw last year, they were also pretty good. They were one seed and got knocked out by Luca, I think, in the second round. Um, but this is a hell of a run that Oklahoma City is on. Me personally, I think this lines up perfectly for them to win the finals. I like. I think the Pacers had a good run, but everything that the Pacers' advantages that they've had in other series, they don't exist against Oklahoma City. You want to play with pace, Oklahoma City can do that. You got these young stars.
Hey, can you hear me? You can't hear me? I can't hear you either. No audio. I don't know what's going on.
Take them finals.
But yeah, man. So uh, I've loved the story of the Indiana Pacers this year. Just somebody that felt like was treading water a lot of the season,
Mhm.
trying to kind of find their footing in the league in the Eastern Conference, what and who they were going to be. I know they made a run last year to the Eastern Conference Finals and got clapped by the Celtics. But
Wait, before you those they got swept, but every one of those games came down to the last 2 minutes also.
they
So it's
really
like
did. Though. They were right there.
I don't know if a good sweep exists, but if it did, that would
I tell
I
you
guess
what,
that's what it would look like.
if we're not gonna call it a good sweep, I tell you what, it was a hell of a learning experience for the Indiana Pacers.
Hmm.
Last year, really no one expected them to be there. Everybody kind of felt like everything fell and aligned perfectly for them due to injuries against all the teams that they faced. Whatever. Halliburton, Jason Tatum shared the bench during the USA Olympic run this summer. And again, Halliburton is on that Olympic springboard that we've talked about and we've heard the Hoopers speak on since the beginning of professional players playing in the Olympics and just how, especially for the young guys, how much confidence it instills to be on a roster with some of the greatest players of all time. And you can really see how Tyrese Halliburton is really taking that next step, not only as a leader, not only as a playmaker, but just as being able to be the guy. Like he fully embraces that role of this is his team and he's going to make the do or die play that's going to either send them home or push them into the next round. Um, I think the person I'm most impressed with so far for the Indiana Pacers hasn't been the most consistent guy, but just the moments he's had. Of course, Aaron Neesmith. I mean,
That was
was he to the casual basketball fan? Most guys didn't know who he was before that. Was it game two, game three against the Knicks?
That
But
was a that I actually think
it was
that was
game
game
one against
one.
yeah,
Game
game one.
one. I think
Yeah,
that's an all-time performance, and this is not a heat of the moment thing.
nah,
This is not a recency bias thing. That like there's legends without that did not do that in that shorter time.
this
He
guy,
did.
he had 8 threes in the game. He hit 6 in the fourth quarter and 5 in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, like something
It
ridiculous.
was down 14.
That was unreal to see that in real time. But you talk about Tyrese Halliburton taking that next step because that next step, right? I don't. It depends on where you had him before, right? I think he was a good player, a very good player. Would I call him a star? Uh, because he has these great first half of the season or great second half, and he has a terrible first half. You know what I'm saying? Like half the season he looks like a top three point guard. The other half, he looks like a just a good player.
And let's
Um,
remind everybody to speak on that point. Pascal Siakam was the only All Star for the Pacers this year
100%. So
because
uh,
Halliburton started the year so shitty.
exactly. So kind of like where did you have him before? Where do you have him now? Because obviously playoffs make stars and superstars, and when you have these moments in the playoffs that elevate you into a different tier. But what kind of tier Tyrese Halliburton is like so hard to like kind of place him in a tier. We know he's not in that tier with like freaking Shea Joker. Luca, LeBron, AD, all these guys. But like,
Man,
yeah,
you know you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
yeah, but he's also like it's kind of hard to put him in a tier with like Trey Young because he's Tyrese Halliburton has made the finals now, right? Or putting some of these guys that are very productive, but they have not
You're
had
not
these
gonna
big
like what I'm
moments.
about to say.
I want to hear it. I don't have to like. This is not about like. I don't like everything you say, but I do want to hear what you have to say because it's very hard to gauge where he's at.
In my eyes, because this is back to back years with the Pacers
Hmm.
making the Eastern Conference Finals,
Hmm.
led by Tyrese Halliburton. Both times,
Hmm.
no questions asked about that.
Hmm.
Rick Carlisle and Tyrese Halliburton. You give me Tyrese Halliburton over Luka Doncic right now. That's just me. Because his high isn't as high, his low is nowhere near as low. His low is nowhere near as low,
He had he had a
especially defensively.
yes, but he did have a
And effort
stinker
wise,
last series.
effort is so much more contagious than putting the ball through the basket.
100%. Um,
And if your leader doesn't have the proper effort, then your rest of your role guys, your support staff will not be up to caliber. We never have to worry about Halliburton's effort. He ain't gonna always fill it up. He might end up with a Ben Simmons stat line 8, 8, and 7.
right.
But he's that fire is always there, and it will never. It's not extinguished. We even like I say, riding the bench for the Olympics couldn't extinguish his fire.
I
It
get
it,
what you're
it, it
I
was
get what you're
oxygen to the fuel
I
to the
get
fire.
what you're saying for sure. And this is a good run, but you did mention the first half of the season how shitty he was. He wasn't very good.
He
Um,
wasn't.
and that's my, you know, he has moments and he has really good stretches. And
Audio cut out again.
last year when he went on his run or whatever, um, I was just pretty much like, oh, this guy top five point guard, right? And then he turns his back on you often, and let you down. You put a lot of stock, you buy a lot of Tyrese Halliburton stock, then he lets you down. Then you sell it all, you sell all the stock, and then he goes back up. So it's like, but the stretches are so long. He might be sorry. He might be sorry for 20-25 games, and he might be great for.
Halliburton, I got one for you. Halliburton, a lot like Bitcoin, bro.
Oh
You know
man,
what I'm
that's
saying? It sound great when they first sold it to you.
yeah.
Get in for $100 of Bitcoin. But if you got in at $100 of Bitcoin,
You
wow.
That's Indiana. They bought stock early, and now it turned out great for them. And it still has a,
Sold
but
all this bonus, bought all the Halliburton.
I think too though that usually there's somebody that is like this is a star, no questions about it, right? On every team that makes the finals. When it was Luca last year, when it was Jason Tatum, these guys. This is a star. This is the superstar. But like when it's Indiana, this guy's he's good. He's a star, but like this is not top five territory. This is not top 10 territory. It might not even be top 15 territory, but
I had him outside the top 15 to start the season.
right. Top 20 is nothing to be sad about. Like you're one of the 20 best players in the NBA.
Of the
That's
300 best players in the world.
brother, that's something to write home about. And it's like I think we kind of like I don't know if I don't we're not forcing it. I don't think we are forcing it, but I think we're just a little astonished. Like this is like the first team in a while from off the top of my head. I might correct me if I'm wrong. That was without a clear star. I mean, you could say the Heat with Jimmy Butler, but like I think even Jimmy might have been a little bit more of a star than Tyrese is now. Um, I don't know, man. Like I said, Tyrese Halliburton is hard to gauge. It's hard to. I don't know where to put him because I'm not ready to call him a superstar yet. You know what I mean?
I 100% understand, but I mean, if he ended
I
up
can't hear
lifting
you.
that, yeah, I understand, man. I get it. It's tough to say to exactly put your finger on where Tyrese Halliburton ranks in the NBA amongst the greats of the greats. But the thing is, it's a results oriented business, right?
Mhm.
And he put numbers on the board, bro. Like he got back to back years, at least Eastern Conference Finals. Now he's in the finals. And possibly had one of the most clutch seasons in some of the
Yeah.
biggest, craziest moments in the history of basketball.
I think that's an important part in this conversation that he like we see a lot of great players and sometimes they don't have any moments. He has moments. So it's
Moments.
like
Like, he give you at least one a series.
moments are so important to like telling a player story like oh this player hit this shot like like if you had it's hard to talk about players with no moments, you know what I'm saying, like you average 25 for your career, we never seen you when the pressure's on hit that tough shot, hit that tough jumper. This is like that's I think that's like a underrated thing of importance when we're talking about players. But enough about Tyrese. What is your take on the actual series? How many games do you have it going? um what do you think?
Yeah, man. I think I got OKC in like five. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Because like you said, everything Indiana wants to do, OKC is gonna do it better. They want to get up and down the floor. They want to play eight, nine guys. I
OKC
mean, they
got 10. OKC got 10, 11 legit in
exactly,
rotation. So
exactly. They got the better bigs because I not a believer. Anyway,
yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
you know that guy.
That
And
that
we may have
I
hate
want to
by
get
association, but oh well. That guy.
I
I'm not a fan of the guy with the
I want to get rid of that actual prototype. Bigs that average less than 6 or 7 rebounds a game.
and wear ascots like he fucking Freddy from Scooby Doo. Like
Bro, if you're 6'6", if you're 6'10", 6'9", you
lead the scars for your baby mama.
why are you averaging 5 rebounds a game? Why are you averaging six? You 9 minimum, bro. 9 minimum. That's a little that's get off my lawn talk though. Let me that's sidetrack.
You say you average more 3 pointers per game than rebounds.
Come on, man. Why is
And not
your
made attempts.
why is your 6'5" shooting guard getting more rebounds? Why is he second on a team and you're third or fourth? That's neither here nor there. But
Obi Toppin coming off the bench getting more rebounds than you.
he's playing 22 minutes a game. Like I said, we could go on about that. That's get
No,
off
we
my
do.
lawn talk. But yeah, I
Look
do
like
agree.
you say look like what hey, Darkwing Duck head ass.
All right, man. All right, man. I do agree. OKC 5 games. I really
Now
because it's
when you clip that, I need you to flash frame Darkwing Duck and put the side by side. You know exactly which ones I'm talking about. Write
hey,
that
man.
timestamp down 23:29. Dark,
Man, we're 23 minutes in and this is how you're acting. Um look, I done lost my train of thought. Oh no. OKC 5 games because like Shay's I think the gap in stardom is so large. Like I think OKC might have the three best players in the series on one team. You know what I'm saying? If we were to list every player, if we were to rank every player together, OKC might have three better players before Indiana has one. Short, Halliburton over Chet.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
you can't do that though, because
yeah.
Halliburton goes right after Shea.
No, Jalen Williams.
Halliburton goes after Shea.
Man, Halliburton. Yeah, that's fair. I just don't know what Tyrese we get. It's tough, but I think it'll be 5. I think it'll be 5 games. I'm curious to see how Tyrese Halliburton performs. Just because OKC is so good defensively, and I think OKC matches up well with Indiana. I'm not sure Indiana matches up well with OKC though.
You know what I
Um,
want to see? I want to see Chet Holmgren I want him to put Darkwing Duck in the rim.
Hey man, too many threes are being shot for that to happen.
At least Cheddar Dunk.
Yeah, that's a great point. I haven't seen that guy dunk in a while now that you
That
mention it.
guy.
When why aren't you
I
dunking a
think his
basketball?
last dunk was round one.
All right, man. Oh my
He
goodness.
caught a body. He caught a body against Cleveland,
Mhm,
but I ain't seen him since. I think Westcolor was on the bench too. Mobley wasn't playing; he was hurt.
gotcha. Okay, so I want to take it back to a previous round, talk about a previous player. Um, Actually, before we get to him, in some more recent news, the Knicks have fired Tom Thibodeau. Um,
It's a cold
I
world out here, baby.
yeah, I think the way the hiring and firing of coaches go in the NBA today, it's like you just fire somebody. Like everybody's so quick to get fired, man. We've seen coaches 2 years out from a chip get fired. Mike Budenholzer fired. Mike Malone fired. Right. And now you're firing Tom Thibodeau. You just got to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in I don't know how long. Du, du,
1999.
Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year, got fired.
Same season.
Same season.
Now that was
J
some of the nastiest work of all time.
JB Bickerstaff from Cleveland when they were a top four seed, he got fired. And then like I don't know, man. The solution to every season not getting a championship cannot be you're fired. Like, and I think that's what we've seen recently. Like, how is Michael Malone out of a job, man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Locker room, bro. Once you lose the room, it's over for you.
what you call it? The Bucks coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? They gave him what, 27 games, 30 games, 40 games, and he was fired.
Yeah,
Um,
I can't remember a Cuddy name. He wasn't there long.
bro, and it's
They
like
brought in the ultimate relief pitcher.
I don't think I think
He's still hanging around.
I think the NBA thinks that these coaches just grow on trees. Mike Brown, you know what I mean? Like these coaches,
Mike Brown had been fired everywhere he went for no
it's
reason.
it's I think the OKC coach has done a lot of damage for
I'll
the
pay you
like
$5 if you can say his name right.
Mark Daigneault. Is
I
that his
don't think
name?
that's right.
It
I
might
don't,
not be,
I don't think that's right.
but,
I
but
feel
he
like that was close though.
yeah, no, I think I've heard somebody else say it, and that's as close as I'm gonna get to it. But they think those a lot of those are just laying around. Like you can just hire this next little gym. Nah, bro.
And the
Sometimes you,
crazy thing is, like they had him in the bleachers for so long down with the
yeah,
Coastal
yeah,
Shock or whatever their G League
right,
team is. Like he was down there in the minor leagues cooking. He finally get the call, and now they like, oh, look at this dominant. It don't work like that.
yeah.
You
Had
don't
him
just have
stand,
two great coaches like that. Don't work.
had him standing behind PJ Carlissimo. You know what I mean? And Billy Donovan. But it's like I don't know. Like what more could Tom Thibodeau have done?
I think the thing is with Tom Thibodeau, and this is just something. The proof is in the pudding at this point. The Knicks realize that their brass probably feel like they hit their cap and realize that he might have been holding this team back a little bit more than he was pushing them forward just with his rotations. And because even in the last two games of the series, when he started to open the bench up and play that eighth, ninth guy,
Mhm.
things worked out. They split those last two games, but I mean, they was on the verge of getting swept. So I think that was kind of his just inability to not change his style, but just to adapt to what is needed in the series. I think that's what caused that was the proper causation for this firing of Tom Thibodeau. It's the same story everywhere he goes. He's just not playing enough guys, and your top four, three guys are playing 40 minutes every night, and that's just not conducive for guys to be healthy and make a deep run through June.
I think too, though, something that it's like a lot of yeah, coaches win, but it's how do I want to say this? He every coach can't win you a championship, right? There's gonna be great.
One winner every year is
There's gonna
29.
be there's gonna be great coaches that go without a chip. You know what I mean? And like obviously we can't put them in certain tiers, but that doesn't mean you're a bad coach. Like this is some things are organizational problems. It's not like how often do you see one coaching change win you a championship? You know,
And then you end up with guys like, you know, Ime. It's like, wow, like on the cusp of championship multiple times. And now, due to some semantics,
so that's a choice of words for sure.
you
Yeah.
end up with, you possibly could end up without a chip, you know what I'm saying, for your whole career. It could be constantly a top 2 coach in the league. But due to, red tape.
Red tape is that's crazy. But it's like
353, write that down, bro.
we
3053.
we're used to like seeing these big name coaches like you know what I'm saying, the Phil Jacksons, the even Doc Rivers at one point. I've
See,
never seen it.
that's not what we're gonna do.
I said big name coaches. I didn't say great
Oh, okay.
coaches. I said
Okay.
big. He's
I
still a
misheard.
he's still a big name, but
So we're not gonna the ultimate relief pitcher like
right,
that.
right,
He's not
right.
an
But
ace. He come clean up.
it's like I said, you don't see rarely do you ever see like one coaching change and then championship, right? And when we kind of look back, a lot of times coaches kind of stuck with coaches and then they built that championship from that point. Your team makes the finals. Like, do you think you're one coaching change away from the finals or to making the finals? No, you could probably keep that coach and then make a couple roster changes. I don't know if the Knicks had the roster to make the finals. They really honestly weren't supposed to get out of the second round against the Celtics, going down 20 twice. Um, and obviously that shows a lot of resilience from their end. But just to I can't sit here and confidently say they had the makeup of a team making a run to the championship. You know, they weren't great defensively, right? Their offense did get stagnant at points. It become Brunson Luca type offense. So like
The number
the
2 option is Karl-Anthony Towns.
And so the two teams that we're looking at right now, they move the ball well. They move their players. Like there's a lot of motion going on in offense. Obviously, OKC has shape for them to get a bucket when they need a bucket, but like they still make a lot of passes. You know, they still have these type of players like Case and Wallace, bro.
Ooh,
he's like a eighth man. And he could very easily be a six man or close to a starter on another team in the NBA. And they just have players like that existing. Alex Caruso is coming
Aaron
off the bench.
Wiggins.
Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe
Sniper.
can. We're gonna see an Isaiah Joe game where he gives you 3 4 threes in this series or
In
something like
one
that.
quarter.
Exactly. So it's like they have those type of that's an incredible roster for one that they're building. But
And we didn't even talk about Hartenstein,
Hartenstein,
who the Knicks thoroughly
Chet,
missed.
yeah, and it's like I mean, shit, you pay somebody $84 million, their ass better be in the game. um, but it's just I think where they're so quick to fire coaches these days, man, and it's. I don't think the great coaches are not just laying around on assistant benches, right? Like, y'all can try it out. And
I
at
think my
some
thing is with the NBA though, bro. Like the coach is just like he's just like your therapist, psychologist type. You know what I'm saying? Like, because these guys are so great. Very few teams are actually like running sets and systems right now.
100%.
So
I'm a set guy till I die, man. Like,
come on, let's run some horns.
yes, man. Texas, can we get something a little? Can we get an elevator screen? I haven't seen an elevator screen in 5 games, man. And
You know
it's
what
like,
I'm saying? Looking for
but
some sets, but that's not what they do in the NBA. So the coach is just a guy. He's a vibes guy. You know, he
you
come
but
in,
and you have but you kind of have to be because these players are such huge
and
personalities
that
and
was my next
stars.
point, bro. Like you just
You
managing all the BS that come around with having a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns on your team, a guy
yeah.
like Josh Hart and his pod with Brunson. Like you're managing these things.
You're a coach making $10 million a year. What are you gonna tell that player making 35, 40? Um, and you can't fire that player. He's making $50 million a year. He's gonna play. Or
I
you,
got a question. Do you think Nick Nurse told Podcast P to mute the mic?
Nick Nurse might have said that. Nick Nurse might have said I take him for a type of guy that would say something along those lines. Um,
Just checking.
and that's another coach. He won a championship. 2 years later, he's out the door.
Good.
Um,
And his best player left. So that summer. So what do we really think was going to happen?
where did you want him to go from there? Like he left the best two-way player for the last 7 years in the NBA. A little two dime. And he left those guys, and I don't know what you expect from that. But
I don't either, brother. I don't either.
the lights, we know New York, the lights are bright, right? The lights are unbelievably bright. There's a microscope for everything. And then especially when you're good, you can get away with less for some reason, right? You have a longer leash when you're bad, but when you're good, because they think you're so close now, but as a Knicks front office guy, who do you go out and get? What's out there? You know, Steve Kerr's not going nowhere. Like Kenny
Think he can
Atkinson,
get? I know we talked about it already. Think he can get email?
nah, man.
I'm gonna say this. He gonna have a hard time getting him out of Houston. I heard Area 29 was a great time.
Bro. I also heard that. So
I'm hearing rave reviews about Area 29.
he's he's a guy that
Shout out to a brother making a comeback, Earl Thomas, making a hell of a comeback.
That's crazy, man.
It was smut on his name for a little bit.
Now
his brand is blowing up.
And that's another point is like these coaches. The NBA coaching market is interesting because you sign a coach to a 5-year, $60 million contract, and then you fire him after 2 years, but you
paid him all of that money.
You still owe him $40 million. I think being a head coach in a major sport is one of the best things you could do in life. And I don't think a lot of people go. My favorite example to go back to is Jimbo Fisher. He signed a $100 million contract with Texas A&M. I think he was there 3 years. I think Texas A&M still owe him like $70-80 million.
They paid him almost $200 million to leave.
Bro, to leave, and he doesn't have to work again.
Ain't heard from Jimbo Fisher since that day.
He doesn't have to. And
that was 2023.
Yes, and this
is heard from Jimbo Fisher since that day.
Bro, and that's the case. Like y'all are wasting money. Y'all are paying 2-3 coaches because y'all keep signing them to 5-year deals and then running through these coaches. Like y'all aren't even giving these coaches a chance to try to like establish themselves. Especially, but I mean, obviously Tom Thibodeau he doesn't get that same type of grace because he's been a coach so long. But you want to bring in a new guy. This might be his first head coaching job, and then voila, whatever. But I mean, you have coaches like Ime that has stepped right in and did amazing, or even Joe Mazzulla in his second year winning a championship. So I think that has ruined the market for coaching a little bit. Like if you can't get shit done in the first 2 years, you're out of here, buddy. And that's
absolutely ridiculous.
That is absolutely ridiculous. But we've seen people do it. Tyronn Lue came in, 1 year, wins a championship. Amazing.
See, that's not fair either.
Yeah, but I think that's an amazing thing to do, but it's not fair to judge other coaches that way because
it's only one LeBron.
It's only one LeBron. Tyronn Lue had LeBron. Ime had
Kyrie.
And Kyrie. Ime had
Jason. Still needed a miracle to beat the Warriors.
Ime and Joe had Jason Tatum. When Steve Kerr came right in 2 years later, won with the Warriors. Steph was, I think, the MVP that year. Like these are ridiculous players that they're coaching, that they're coming in and coaching. So that has to be a point when these teams are bailing on these coaches. I think the relationship probably just ran its course as well, though.
But I don't know who you go out there and get now, because all of the older coaches are kind of fading out. Steve Kerr is, pretty much on his way out. Popovich has now retired and moved into a front office position. Doc Rivers probably is on his way out. It's a new age of coach. And Tom Thibodeau's probably in that older class that is just getting removed. So a lot
You
of
talking
teams are
about letting things go? Why don't he let that little
let
super
that
goop? You gotta let that.
let that top go. Come home. It's
Just
time to
drop the
come
top, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with a convertible in the summer.
cut the top. It's time to come home,
You know what I
man.
mean? As long as the convertible is nice enough to cut the heat on, you can drop the top in the winter.
Hey, man, a lot of people are not. It's a hard reality to face, man, when you got to come home.
It ain't like he 33.
It it don't matter, man. You don't want to come home until you have to, bro. Like you don't want to
Wife,
drop.
wife is calling.
Yes, yes, but
What?
until you
The wife
absolutely,
is calling. Come home, bro.
there's a lot of people that there's a lot of people that should drop the top, but you know what I'm saying?
Just drop the top.
Like you said, the semantics. I mean, it's not in 2025. Being bald is not really cool. We used to have. That's a point I didn't think to talk about today. We used to have cool bald guys. We don't have any cool bald guys anymore. Shaq,
Yeah.
Mike, you know what I'm saying? Where are the cool
Oh, so
bald
that was the early 2000s thing. Like
Starberry? We don't have no cool
Kobe
bald,
went to the skin fade.
bro. We don't have no cool bald guys no more.
It says Starberry.
Starberry. We don't have no cool bald guys no more. So it's like it's not cool to be bald anymore.
I don't know if this is appropriate, but shout out to Stephanie Marbury. Let's continue.
I don't know what that was about.
Let's continue. Let's continue.
There sounded like a little beef or haterade there or something. But
no, all love.
That's not what that sounded like. Another player I wanted to talk about though, Anthony Edwards, right? There was so much talk around him. He's now beaten LeBron in the series. He's beaten KD, and now he's beaten not really Steph. And and Luka, you want you want to put out things and call him the legend killer, right? And
those are good. Those are mighty fine pelts to have.
That is a terrific list, but there are still some optics to that. You beat LeBron in year 22, KD in year 18. You beat Steph in year 17. I'm not gonna say not to diminish it, but these are not.
You say I'm not raining on your parade. You pissing on it. It's okay.
But these guys, these guys are way past their prime. I'm talking, 8 to 10 years, damn near past their prime. LeBron was at his peak, and
Steph just won a chip in 22. You talking some 8 to 10 years past their prime.
Do you remember LeBron in 2014, brother?
I said Steph.
Do you
won a chip 2022?
Steph's prime was that 2015 to 2018 range. So maybe was it not?
I don't know.
I think okay. Let me say prime peak. I should say peak because the prime could have been 6 to 8 years, right?
Yeah, unanimous MVP was definitely peak.
Right. Let's say peak. He's not beating these guys at their peak, but I do think they're still past their prime. But
I don't think he's at his peak yet either, though.
Also, so that's the point I want to get to. I think it's it's great to call him. If you're gonna go that route, you have to be willing to take it all the way there, right? If you're gonna elevate him and give him the praise that you're giving him, that comes with a lot of slander, brother. It does. Like the slander it gets bad. So you want to call him the next Mike, the next Kobe, the next superstar. But in the conference finals, you lose to your peers back to back. I don't care that you're the legend killer, and Luka got the best of you in the conference finals, and then Shea turns around and gets the best of you.
I'm not gonna hold this one against him, though, bro, because the Thunder was so monumentally better than
100%. But we've never given that grace to players of we don't care.
He out there with Julius Randle.
Bro, we don't. We when did we start caring about who players are with, and giving them?
I can tell you when y'all started that crap 2008 when Bron made it to the finals, and it was look, he got Boobie Gibson.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's the bar. That's where we're at.
No, but that that does not hold weight though. We don't give a fuck he had Boobie Gibson. Y'all said he's LeBron James. Nobody care. Like the people that are not fans of LeBron do not care. It's 4 and 6. We don't care, bro. You had Boobie or Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh averaged 25 together. In the 2014 finals when they got blew out. Like they don't care. There's no context to these conversations, so we cannot start adding context now when it comes to Anthony Edwards.
We're a contextual show.
Say that again.
We're a contextual show.
We are. But that I think
if we don't add the context, then who will?
I think that's my whole thing was I think it was way too soon to be calling him all of this stuff. Because you wanted to call him legend killer and he's the next this, and then when he loses, we want to turn around and say, "Oh, he's only 23." I don't give a fuck, bro. LeBron was in the finals at 22, right? Going against the Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker Spurs, when they were very good.
Oh, here Ginobili.
Bro, he was 22. KD was 23 or 24 with an MVP, right? Dwayne Wade was Finals MVP at 24. So do you really want to put him there, or do you want to wait another year? You know what I'm saying? So before y'all enter those conversations, really, really look who did what. Before you call him KD, before you call him LeBron, Melo, Kobe was averaging 30 in the finals in year 3. Let's not. Michael averaged 28. He averaged 37 in the second year, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was year 2, averaged 37.
Yeah, that was that series where they ended up getting bounced by the Celtics.
I think it's okay.
60 ball on the boys.
Bro, I think it's okay to call him a great player. We don't have to put him there yet because
he's a superstar player too.
I think he's one thing away from us. I think next year is he's cemented superstar. But when I say when a superstar, KD, LeBron, Joker, Shea now, right? Can you put him next to those guys?
Yeah, I can put him right there next to Shea.
Why? How?
I could put him right there next to Shea.
How?
I mean, just watch the game. The way he impacts the game. And again, I know.
Super impactful, yes. 100%.
I've always, this is going to sound like I'm shitting on Shea, but I'm not. Because I've been a fan of Shea since Clippers. That was first time I really seen him. I was like, yo, they need to go ahead and get Pat Bev out the way. Let this kid rock. Just let him rock. But it's just, again, back to my original point, the Thunder are just they're one, bro. They are
100%.
They got 10 guys that play, but they play as one. And that's that's irreplicable, bro. You can't create that. You can't.
Sure.
It's organic. And I don't think Minnesota Timberwolves front office is doing, I don't think they're doing Anthony any favors by making a move off of Cat. I know Rudy Gobert wasn't, as desired on the trade market. So he was kind of stuck with that, but you made a bad move there, which turned into an okay move, but it costs you when playoff time comes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, confidently, who can you say is the best player for the Timberwolves? Second best player.
The second best?
Confidently.
Julius Randle.
Okay. I think we might have to disagree on that.
Who would you say?
That's the problem. I maybe give you 3 names and be like, maybe him, maybe him, maybe him.
I don't even think it's that because
but if you Like, yeah, in the semifinal round, it was Julius Randle, but the round before that, it was Jaden McDaniels. So,
But Jaden McDaniels is also a role player, so I don't like to expect too
don't
much from
Julius
him.
Randle look like a role player?
He did last series, he did, but
He didn't play his role. He
he
was
did
just a
last
player.
series.
He
You're
was
not
just a
wrong.
player in the Western Conference Finals.
He did not. He had a terrible finals.
So it's just like, again, back to the coach waiting in the wings for the Thunder. I mean, everything aligned perfectly for Shea to be the golden piece in the PG trade, to get there, and then Mark
Dagenham.
took over and really established that culture, and then they're able to draft Chet just due to the injury. Basically, that's the only reason they really got him. They get Chet, they get Jalen Williams out of. He was at what's the school Steve Nash went to? Santa Clara. Like, come on, dog.
I thought
This
he
is
went
an organization of moves that are setting up Shea for success.
100%. But Shea has also overdid his part. Like, yes, we thought he thought he'd be a good player. Even if he thought he'd be a great player, this guy is a scoring champion, MVP. And then
That's all the same year. It's all 1 year.
Anthony Edwards doesn't have a year like that though. You can't.
I mean, if you would have asked this question last year, you would have told me Anthony Edwards was the superstar compared to Shea.
I can't say that in confidence.
Yes, you would have. Yes, you would have, bro. Shea and them got bounced in the second round last year.
Shea still averaged 30 for the year. Like
yes, he averaged 30 the last 3 years, but I mean, it was at what 28 and a half or whatever. So it's like
I don't know if you reached them heights, but he I think he was a 26 guy, something like that, 26, which is still very good. But I cannot put him next to freaking Shea, bro. Like, we not doing that. Like, and he has some stinkers in that series. Let's not forget that, bro. Like, yes, we see him with a 35-point game, but like, what about that 18-pointer? What about that 16-pointer? We love to praise. We love to praise.
They got the doors blown off of them 3 games by the end of the first quarter.
So we would not, if any other superstar was doing them highs and lows, it wouldn't be no excuses, bro. We can't. Age is not really an excuse in the NBA when you're in your fifth or sixth year.
I ain't say that about no age, bro. I'm
saying
my whole argument is the situation, bro. There's been one great player in the history of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Sure.
Since they've existed.
Sure.
There's a reason behind that, bro.
I get it, but I don't have, as a LeBron fan, it's hard for me to have sympathy for other players when their stories are being told, or this is this, like.
See, and I knew this all circled back to that. This all circles back to that.
How could it not? Because when y'all want to put people,
let your childhood trauma go, bro.
It's not
go
a child.
Go talk to the lady.
I know
talk to the lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Go talk to the lady.
This is me saying y'all can't throw everybody in that certain tier, bro. You have to go through things first. Like, we are forgetting who graced this league. Do we remember year 4, year 5, Carmelo Anthony? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are players that have graced this league. You cannot skip straight to Mike, Kobe, LeBron, KD, and Steph, bro. You can't just jump straight there. You can't just you don't get to go straight there and zoom past Melo and
you can't skip past Bernard King, huh?
Bro, it's hard. I'm not gonna say that, but I want to keep it more in the 2000s. Like, there's just players you can't like jump at. Like, why are you jumping?
We say John Havlicek is standing in line,
bro. None of those guys. Nobody I never seen. I don't know them guys. But like, why do you think you can skip?
Crazy,
why do you think you can skip Dwayne Wade and go straight to Kobe Bryant. Like, no, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those things, like, you don't get to just jump the line. I'm
Almost got us
making it.
canceled, bro. I
Huh?
almost got us canceled.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chamber that one.
Give us a chance. Give us a chance here. Give us a chance here. But no, I think Ant is right on that cusp of being a superstar. But it's like we don't have after a good series, we don't have to just go straight to superstar, bro. We can all see the potential. We see the potential. It doesn't have to be, oh man, that was a great series. He's a superstar now. He's top 5. Like, slow it roll, bro. Slow it roll.
See, I think it was more than just the series, bro. I think it's really kind of the last 2 years of
Those are great years to have.
Momentum carrying into how important he was for Team USA as well. Like, I think all of those things factor in as to, of course, as the kids will say, the aura, the clips, you know what I'm saying? The moments that he gives us. They don't all necessarily happen on the court, but there's still moments that will stick with us forever.
For sure. And I think too, though, we cannot.
All of that plays into being a superstar.
For sure, but we can't put potential ahead of reality or actuality, because like we've seen so much potential and then it never gets reached, right? Like, for example, Zion Williamson, he's supposed to be an all NBA guy.
Out of all the names,
Listen, no, hear me out. I'm not even gonna get into that side of it.
No, we're transitioning.
Just okay, Zion Williamson, we thought he was going to be one thing, right? You know, he's supposed to be a franchise corner piece. He's not. He's barely playing 50 games a year. You know, he's hurt a lot, and you know he's coming.
He's got Sakubas draining his energy, brother.
All right, bro. See, I just said we wasn't over there. All right, forget Zion. Look, even with Ja Morant, right? Ja Morant was next up, right? We saw him. We saw potential in him to be a top 10 superstar.
They got bit by this. Well,
nah, that's two totally different situations. But
I was just gonna say the injury bug, but Zion got bit by
a different.
We
bug.
know who bit him.
A bug bit him for sure.
She got bugs.
Yeah. So Ja Morant is another example. Like, we wanted to put him there, but because we saw him reaching there, he didn't get there. Not to say that he's still not, but he's not where we thought he would be, right? And then you have even player like Devin Booker, right? He was in the final.
That's where we should have started.
Yeah, Devin Booker. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Edwards also has some issues off the court, brother. So
he does.
He has quite a few issues off the court.
Several issues.
Yes, but Devin Booker was in the finals.
We need to consolidate some of these issues.
Like I said, he's I don't know. He has a few issues, and
you know what? Pro tip for me to the pros. Everybody, how about let's just listen to the wise words of Silk here. If she's already somebody else's baby mama that's famous, how about you leave her alone?
Brother,
Pro tip.
If she's already a baby mama of somebody else famous,
let her go. Just leave her. Let her be.
Brother, how about we get a little more broad? If she's already a baby mama, leave her alone.
Well, see, the thing was, I didn't want to do all
ladies,
that.
Hold on, ladies.
See, I didn't want to do all of that.
Ladies,
I didn't want to do all that because
y'all are.
I got one of my best homies. I tell him at least once a week he's destined to be a stepdaddy, and it's nothing disrespectful because he's a great guy.
Yeah,
but I'm just like, bro, you ain't building like you ain't building like you building on rocky foundations, brother. Like sandy foundation, not even rocky foundation. You can't build on a sandy foundation.
And my statement was specifically for professional athletes, right? Like, some of these everyday guys, y'all might need to, be a stepdaddy, step in, and that's not a diss. I don't want it to sound like say it in a negative connotation or anything like that, right?
Already one of your peers, baby mama, or somebody that's already in the light that you're living.
You probably grew up on, buddy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just let her be, bro.
Yo, we're way outside of basketball right now.
I mean, but it's all affecting basketball right now.
Actually, he's actually playing some of the best basketball of his life. So, maybe getting rid of that stress.
Stressors.
I don't like to refer to those people as stressors, but
They're stressors, plural.
they could stress you out as a parent or a father. But like I said, I think he's playing some of the best basketball.
Side note: Leon Draisaitl lights the lamp for the Oilers here. Oh, that wasn't even Draisaitl. Yes, it is. Here he is cleaning it up. Draisaitl cleaning it up. 1-0 Oilers. A minute 40 seconds into the game. Stanley Cup.
We love hockey as well here.
I'm a big Draisaitl guy. Everybody talks McJesus. I like Draisaitl.
No, that's your expertise. And we'll definitely
Shout out to Seth Jones. We got a brother on the ice for the Florida Panthers. On the first line.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it. I think we got two brothers in this series. I think Edmonton, Evander Kane.
Oh, this shit is watchable then.
We got two brothers. Yeah. Evander Kane.
This shit is watchable. But I wanted
both to, they both got the Drake look to them, but we'll take whatever.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, it is what it is.
Definitely giving Patrick Mahomes.
I wanted to because we were just talking about players with off the field issues, right?
Are we circling back to Zion?
No. Something a little more hot, something a little more topic, right?
I thought you were gonna say serious. I was gonna say this.
This is starting to get serious.
All right, let's see.
Stephon Diggs and Cardi B. That's
all right. Let's open the door. First of all,
where do you start, bro?
We have two cases of Stephon Diggs dry snitching. He's a dry snitch.
Really?
All right, check this out, right? Remember, it was COVID. Nobody was supposed to be in the clubs, but of course, Atlanta.
Oh, Jada.
What that sign say from across the club?
Why you mad at me or something?
No, why you being weird to me? This is fresh off of Don't Call Me White Girls. One hand on neck, one hand on front. Why you being weird to me? He sends the sign and the bottles to Jada Waiter's booth. For those of y'all who don't know, that's Lil Baby's baby mama. He sends the sign in the bottle talking about, so why you being weird to me?
Yo, Lil Baby's baby mamas are out of control.
Anyway.
We talk about two different baby mamas in a span of 5 minutes in two different situations.
That's crazy. Anthony's sick. Anthony's a sick guy.
Lil Baby and Chief Keef baby mama.
That's what I'm saying. He loves somebody baby mama. He loves his favorite rapper baby mamas. Like that's crazy.
That's insane.
Anyway, back to Mr. Dry Snitch. But this second incident, we'll circle back about 3 years ago. Remember when social media started popping off the let's ask the players in the building these questions and and they're asking Buffalo, their guy, their
that was Minnesota. That was Minnesota.
No. This is Buffalo. This is about 3 years ago. So the Buffalo Bills social media guys going around asking all the players like these IT terms. What's HDMI? What's this? What's a whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Now, there is apparently a computer term known as
WAP, wireless access point.
Application protocol, but whatever.
There's two.
There's terms. So whatever, depends on what part of the computer you talk about.
Right.
I like wireless access point. We'll stick with that. So they're asking everybody And this is when the songs were real hot. Cardi B, Megan, WAP, WAP. So they're asking all the guys, and everybody's laughing because immediately their minds are going to WAP. These are football guys, right? Football players.
Right.
I'd imagine there might be one IT guy in the room who actually knows about computers. Maybe a couple more. You know, somebody probably built a PC to play Call of Duty or whatever.
Right.
Asked Stephon Diggs, what's a WAP? He looked with this just disgusting look on his face. As in, I can't say that on camera. And then the guy goes, no, computers. He goes, only WAP I know is WAP. He said, you're going to have to ask Cardi B about that. That was 3 years ago, brother.
But that seems a little bit like a setup because
2 cases of dry snitching.
You could have gave Stephon any other 3 letters, bro.
They asked him all the same questions, brother. They asked everybody. He wasn't the first one in the video to answer that question. Some of the other guys said, "Oh, I can't say that." Oh, he said, "My wife's gonna watch this. I can't." Josh Allen laughed it off. Stephon Diggs, he jumped in their face first, no pun intended. You know what I'm saying? And got to dry snitching. We have 2 cases of dry snitching. Now we can talk about the Minnesota video that you spoke of as well, when they asked the entire roster who you would not allow, who you would not want to date your sister.
Right.
And I do believe the scoreboard was 52-0. Stephon Diggs.
Any guy
the only person that didn't go for him was him.
Any guy says, "I'm a great guy."
I think they played that video. It was like a time lapse.
Yeah.
And everybody just kept saying the same thing in squeaky voice. Stephon Diggs. Oh, 14, 1-4. Diggs. I mean, quarterback. I mean, it was guys that I'm sure he never even had a conversation with in that locker room that said his name.
Locker room
punters, long snappers, third string guard, practice squad, left tackle.
Locker rooms do work like that. So
everybody knows you come in, and we got some nasty work going on. I don't know if you saw this picture either. Apparently, Cardi posted some pic in the nude. Well, it was a sensual picture. She wasn't nude. She was covered by this fur shawl, whatever vest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Internet did a little research. This was part of Stephon Diggs' outfit from the Met Gala. I said, oh. So they're moving real nasty. They're moving real. You know what I don't like about Stephon Diggs is that he signed up to be the guy to kick a man while he was down. That's my least favorite part about all of this.
The thing though is when it comes to rappers and athletes, they're just in 2 different stratospheres, right? Especially if you're an athlete, not only with some stature, but you have a little money. Because like,
there's very few rappers that could even be in that zip code area code.
100%. So
you're not a Pluto, Drake, Wayne,
Kendrick, Jay-Z, Eminem, like these like the 6th man on the NBA bench can buy your life 20 times.
Perfect example.
And you might have
perfect example right here. Stop the presses. How the fuck did Paige Hurd get engaged to Royce O'Neal?
Brother, Torrey Craig was dating Meg the Stallion.
Well, we're not.
I'm
going to reserve my comments.
I'm just talking
after that day, she let that white man kiss on her. I said she might be a whore.
Yeah. Okay, brother.
So, we're gonna not clip that. We're gonna cut that one out. 109.
Honesty. This is an honest show. But
2020, I was 2015.
Like you said though, Paige Hurd.
Come on, man.
Royce O'Neal.
Come on, that's not even good math. She deserved Anthony Edwards type bag. You know what I'm saying?
She's easily a top 17 woman.
How did Drea get a better investment than Paige Hurd?
It pays to be in these streets sometimes.
Life experiences, we'll call them that.
Drea did her time, did her research, invested. Right.
Bro, like, come on, man. She was begging Orlando Scandrick for a baby, bro, and now you up 200 M's? Stop! You don't deserve that.
Brother, Tyrod Taylor was her backup.
And he ain't deserve that neither.
Was her rebound.
She
put
I
in
I found that because I really respected Tyrod Taylor. Virginia Tech baller. You know, black quarterback trying to find his way. You know what I'm saying? Back before it was trendy to be a black quarterback. Especially the small one. And then you come out here like you moving like this, like you fly, you got hella fits. And this is what you do? You chasing after Orlando Scandrick?
Brother, so this started from Stephon Diggs, right? But this started from freaking Trayvon.
Kicking him in while he was down.
Trayvon Diggs ain't that much better.
He's a bad guy too.
And
but as a big brother, right? Check this out. I know you're a little brother, so you got a different perspective.
Sure.
As a big brother, you expect your little brother to make a bad decision like Trayvon Diggs.
That was,
especially when your big brother is Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, and I don't know. Stephon
Diggs really had no chance. Now that we've done our proper research,
Stephon he's such an interesting guy because
he's a dry snitch, bro.
Whatever. Besides that, like his PR has never been great, right?
Never.
You don't hear any.
Remember when like the biggest story about him was like, damn, is he gonna play corner or is he gonna play wide receiver coming out?
Yeah.
He was the original Travis Hunter in Maryland. A lot of folks don't remember
right?
That. Yeah. Steph Diggs was the original
Stephon or Trayvon?
Steph Diggs, bro. When he was at Maryland, he played both sides of the ball.
Did he?
And they were like, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It wasn't to the extent of Travis Hunter, but he played both sides of the ball.
Stephon Diggs, I actually did a little research, right? He is.
You just scrub your history after that.
Listen, dog. He is a decent guy. Like he's invested in a couple of charities and things like that. He's done things for the community, but this is still to say that his PR has never been great because everything you've heard about him outside of football has been like this guy. He has sex with a lot of women, or like that. That is his PR.
He move in on niggas' baby mamas, like
yes, like it's never good.
You know what? His PR is he got Drake PR.
That's not good from an NFL standpoint, but also there was a point in time.
Anybody's standpoint, bro.
But there also was a point in time he was putting up 1,400 yards a year, right? You know what I mean? So it's like that doesn't matter.
Minnesota moved off of. Well, I guess they didn't move off of Thielen, but they moved off Diggs for Thielen. But everywhere he go, he put up numbers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we expect this behavior from wide receivers. That's part of being a good wide receiver is having a little diva, a little drama, a little off the field nonsense, pretty much. But I think Stephon has taken it a little bit too far to this point.
A little bit.
He's always had his toe on the line. He's always had his toe on the line. Like he was in the club during COVID, right? The league was like, oh, we want to be careful,
He's in the club during COVID.
He was in the club during COVID. And then obviously the video you talk about with Minnesota, like that's not good PR. It's not bad PR either, because like you're not doing anything wrong, but it's not good PR. You know what I'm saying?
When the whole room says,
yeah, you can.
You get 52 out of 53 votes that you're the worst guy in the room.
It can turn into bad PR for sure. And so, but like at this point, bro, there's so many factors that makes it so much more worse of a decision, right?
You're coming off an ACL injury, right? That's the first thing. You're supposed to be rehabbing.
Already old.
I can't.
Uh,
Yeah, I think like he said, he's coming off an ACL injury. That's the first thing, right? So, your team wants to see you trying to make it back, rehab in the correct way. Second
You're
thing is,
31 years old.
bro, the second thing is you just signed to a new team. Like this is not rehab for a team you've been on for 3 or 4 years. Like this
It's your
is a
third team in 3 years.
And it's like, you obviously, when you're in a program, you get a little leeway, you get a little understanding of this guy's this guy. Bro, this is not only a new team, this is a new team with a new head coach. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Looking to revamp a championship program
do that as well. And brother, you are also the vet and wide receiver one on that team. So
without
like,
catching the pass.
bro, and it's like you're you s- even in your decline, you might be the best player on offense on that team, right? So like that could very easily be said. All of those factors play into that. Like it makes that decision so much more bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then okay, cool. You're with Cardi B. Nobody has a problem with that, right? It's whatever. It might not be the best look, but it's not a problem. But okay, now
Look,
yeah, it might not be the best look
not the best
because,
look in your opinion.
in my opinion, depends on what look you're going for. But I mean, that's right up Stephon Diggs' alley. So like,
Very loud. That's it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But okay, you're partying. Maybe not the best idea during voluntary OTAs. Still a little okay, but you're rehabbing,
On a
whatever.
wet boat with a whole bunch of wet seals.
Yes, and so you're partying. Okay, I don't like it. Not terrible, brother. You're passing out pink cocaine to women and telling them to call you daddy.
Big
That
day.
right there,
Big day.
that right there, you fucked up now, buddy. Okay, like we everything else was like I didn't like it.
But I mean, how can we be mad at his woman on the boat? His woman on the boat, chaperone. She over there doing God knows what.
I'm
God knows
not.
who.
I admire it. I think it's like admiration is probably the wrong word.
So, you expose yourself a little bit there.
I respect it.
Probably still not the right word, but go go ahead.
I mean,
But
he's
these are your true feelings, though. So let's give the
all right.
viewers a window into who you are.
I respect it. I'm just saying he's living life the way he wants to live it, and obviously the people he's living with are okay with that as well. He's not doing anything crazy or anything like that because
Hey, did you? Oh, he is doing something crazy. You know what's crazy?
but that's who he chooses to be with. That's who he chooses to do that with. That's what I'm calling it up.
Did you see that? Uh, apparently, Offset and Cardi's son and Stephon Diggs got the same braids.
That I did see something. It is
It's nasty. I told you, he's kicking a man while he's down, bro, and I don't condone that.
they said those braids
You
were
can move on and take it,
yeah.
snipe his baby mama or whatever. If that's how you move, choose to move, then fine. But you out here getting matching braids with the man's son. I want to punch you in the face.
But like this is on brand for Stephon Diggs. And I think too though, like obviously he was in Minnesota, he was in Buffalo. The Patriots, yeah, and Houston as well. Houston. But like, that's that type of city, right? That's a certain type of city. Brother, you are in Boston, Massachusetts now, and then you're playing for the Patriots organization, which is I don't know if it's still the same organization now, but used to be a no nonsense type of organization, right?
Yeah,
Um,
Vrabel seems very no nonsense.
yeah, and Vrabel's cut because he's cut from that organization and that cloth, and he played with those players and coaches that were no nonsense. He was the Tom Brady guy. He's a Bill Belichick guy. Won 2, 3 championships with them. Um, and I don't know that, but bro, this is voluntary OTAs. This isn't even training camp, right? This is they still got 100 people on the roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think they've been through first cuts. You know what I mean? And like,
They was talking about chopping you, brother.
bro. And you know, I think, like I said, Stefan has always had his toe to the line, and I think we kind of always accepted it just because of how good he was and who he is, and you know, these are superstars outside of the field, and you know, you're gonna be into fashion, you know, you're gonna go outside, and I
Stephon Diggs seemed like he got a lime green Lamborghini. That
that
feels like his vibe.
that would be the least shocking thing I've ever heard,
You know what
but
I'm saying? Like
also
that, for those of you who may be unfamiliar, that's his vibe. Like
he's that type of guy. But we failed to mention, like, Stefan is doing all of this, right? The guy just had a baby.
in the mist, like the baby was born while he was on the boat type shit.
Yes, bro. This is all with a newborn. I don't know. I think
Like, early candidate for bad guy of the year.
bad guy. He's the leading candidate of the year. For the bad guy, hashtag great guy.
See, that's another window. Look through the window, everybody, and you can see who Caps is truly at his core.
This is who I am. I'm not ashamed of who I am, and it's, you know, I don't live a life for Instagram. Um, Too many people be afraid to be themselves. I'm not of the Stefan Diggs cloth. I can say that.
It's only because you don't have that much money.
Uh, that's something crazy to say there. Um,
You see,
yeah.
but you have no rebuttal. He had no argument.
No, I respect your opinion and the way that you feel. Um, that's all I can say
We
about
give you
that.
75 million. I promise you'd be on the boat. My name's Big Daddy. You said
You
all
you,
this,
you you
all
think
this.
I'd take it that far?
I think you've done that already.
On a boat game being called Big Daddy. I'm your
We're
average American.
requiring that they call you that.
I am your average American citizen, bro.
We say your average red-blooded American.
Yeah, I don't have access to those type of things. And then
Hopefully, you all at home help take us there. Fuck you talking about. Take us there.
oh
I
my
want to go to the
goodness.
moon. I want to see. I want to touch the stars.
I can't
More ways than one.
in 2025, I'm being honest. I can't do that for you. So,
But
um
by the time conference in Atlanta,
moving on, man. Moving on. I wanted to get into your favorite thing to talk about. Um I think it's every time we talk about this, it's the same thing, right? Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. You know, this is just LeBron and Kobe, you know, Federer and Nadal and Djokovic. Like, there's nobody coming to interrupt the party right now. It's an Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. But no, wait.
you're sending shots,
I'm not sending shots, bruh.
and you know who you sending them at.
Shout out to Mr. Ramirez, man. Jose Ramirez, shout out to him. But Kyle Raleigh,
Okay, I
where?
see you. That's a pull.
Only because what the hell? That's what the Halliburton, bro.
For
Right?
real.
That is literally what the Halliburton, you know, wasn't much on the radar last year, and then you just come out ripping them to start
Hey,
to start the year off.
so Kyle Riley's always been a very interesting character when it comes to this baseball game, right? So he's always got potential for dumb pop. Dumb pop.
Mm-hmm.
Always. He's gonna strike out a lot. You
He's
go ahead.
he's not batting that well.
Zach. But when he puts that bat on that ball,
Yeah.
he a big son of a bitch now. I'll tell you that. And when he puts that bat on that ball, he does what we like to call he backspin that baseball, right? I got a ball right here, perfect example. I'm show you exactly what I mean. So when you hit a baseball, right, in the core, in the middle of the baseball here, to the top half, you want to stay off the bottom half of the baseball. Now, I'm old school. These new school guys will tell you want to hit the bottom half of the baseball, hit it up in the air. That's how you pop up fucking 110 feet The ball, you fucking shortstop catch the ball on the first cut of the damn infield.
Pop fly.
You know what I'm saying? Not even fly ball, pop fly. There's a difference. Which one sound worse?
Yeah.
Exactly. You want to hit that top of that baseball, right? So when you swing down, you hit the top of the baseball. My hand did it. I showed you already. The ball backspins. You want to backspin that baseball, brother. So when it's cutting through that wind, the elements can't affect it. He's gonna shoot out there and rock it, and that's what Kyle O'Reilly does. Kyle O'Reilly, he backspin that baseball. He plays at a big park out there in Seattle. A lot of gaps. He deposited them things over the fucking fence this year, though. He got 23 bombs right now, and it's June 4th.
And it's 59 games, right?
Yeah, 58 games. And he got 216 at bats so far this year. He's played 59. He's played all 59 games. And he's got 23 fucking bombs.
And it's, I mean, those are 100. But
he's got 23 bombs. He's only got 10 doubles. It ain't like he putting that bitch out the park.
He's batting 236, and he has that is that I'm not gonna say it's unheard of, but it's like bro,
career average 223. Okay, so that lets you know
he's not a great hitter, but
I got a name for you. Perfect example as to who Kyle O'Reilly is. You ready?
I'm listening.
Dan Uggla.
Dan Uggla.
You being an Atlanta boy, I know you know exactly who Dan Uggla is.
I know who Dan Uggla is.
All 4 arms.
Yeah.
Home run or nothing.
It's just like he's doing it at the pace that he's doing it, like he's on track for 60 plus, right?
He's wilding because we're still a month and some change away from the All-Star break. And unlike basketball, MLB's All-Star break is actually the halfway point of the season.
And it's like, I think in baseball, like the peaks are so much different from like football or basketball, because like your peak might be 1 year and and that's it. Or
Matt Carpenter, and then you end up with $90 million from the Cardinals and ruin the franchise's future.
Yeah, next 10 years.
Had to get that off.
Yeah, no, that I see that came from the bottom of your heart, man. That was tucked away in the back of your brain, and it just opened the floodgate right there.
Yeah, ruin the franchise, championship franchise, second most championships in the sport. But
that's neither here nor there. But he's honestly he's one of those guys you got to investigate. He's on some investigation type stuff.
He on your list. I'm sure he's been pissing like a motherfucker in that cup,
bro. Like
they dropping them cups off in his locker.
You have to, because like, where is this coming from? And it's like you said, it's baseball is so interesting because every year is so different. You know what I mean? Like
last year he only hit. Well, I'm not gonna say only because it's a lot of fucking home runs. He hit 34 home runs last year,
which is a good amount. But that's like
a great number. Y'all, a lot of people are confused by Aaron Judge and Ohtani, and like everything post 2000, just the last 25 years of the sport of baseball, a game that's been around 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks you're supposed to hit 40 home runs. Doug, early 90s, like if you right before that Royd era kicked in, 93, 94, 95, you hit 40 bombs, you was leading the league. You know what I'm saying? Like you was that guy. I mean, that's why it took Hank Aaron forever to get to 700 and what? 44?
People, great players ruin leagues or ruin expectations. Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols and shit. Yeah. Even Prince Fielder. You know what I mean? Like
perfect, great name. Pujols hit 30 home runs 10 straight years, bro. That doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
But like I said, then when Barry Bonds come in hitting 50 a year, you know what I mean? Just knocking shit out the park every year.
Hank Aaron ended up with 755 home runs, bro. The most home runs he ever hit in a season was 44.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was in 1963. He started his career in 1954. That was the 9th year of his career. He hit 44 home runs. Like, what do we? Come on, man. Like that didn't just happen. He hit Hank Aaron again, who hit 755 home runs,
Mm-hmm.
hit 40 home runs, one, two, and a lot. He hit the most home runs he hit in the season was 47. That was 71. So one, two, he did it in 1973, 1971, 1969, 1966, 63, 62, 60, 57. Those are the only years he hit more than 40 home runs. He played forever. He played 22, 23 seasons, 22 seasons.
The game has evolved so much. Like, your guy that's fourth or fifth up, right, might be hitting 30,
You know
and
what I'm saying?
nobody's talking about it. But it's like we see, bro. Okay, how I don't think I want to say we haven't because maybe we have, but like Aaron Judge is absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous, bro. He
Like
hit 50
this
home runs
shit,
every year.
this shit is not making sense. Like he's at what? He's at 21 homers and he's batting 387.
He's going and check this out. How many home runs he got right now?
It's 21.
21 home runs. I guarantee you, if you ask Aaron Judge, there's a lot of games where he went up there with a B swing because he wants to hit 400 this year. He wants to be the first guy since 1941 to hit have a 400 batting average at the end of the season
Mm-hmm.
since Ted Williams, and he wants to be technically Josh Gibson did it in 1943 in the Negro Leagues, but in the
Okay.
MLB, the last guy to hit 400 in a season was Ted Williams in 1941. I guarantee you, if you ask Aaron Judge, he'll tell you he's put a lot of B swings on balls because he wants to get to that number. Right now, the base hit is more important than the home. He already broke the American League single season home run record.
That's what I was gonna say. The plate
That was
discipline,
2 years.
the plate discipline you have to have when you're such a great hitter like that to not like if I swing at this, I could homer, but I could also strike out. But like and you have to go for that save for that single or that double. And then if that's how you're approaching the game, but you still have 21 homers with that approach,
You're an animal, bro. You're an animal.
like batting 387 is just like
It's
eh,
unfathomable what the
that's what
MLB.
that's
Especially
exactly
nowadays because they don't care about striking out anymore, right? Okay.
100%.
So your average hitter in baseball right now, say you get 400 at bats in a season,
Mhm.
maybe five. If you play every day or close to every day, you're going to get 500 at bats. So
Mhm.
you get your 500 at bats. The average player in the MLB right now is going to strike out at least 100 times. Now let's go back to the pinnacle, the great Hank Aaron. Never struck out 100 times in a season in his 22 career years. The most strikeouts he ever had in a single season, 1967, 97 strikeouts, bro. The game has changed, right? Let's look at the most career strikeouts in a season for Aaron Judge. His second year, he struck out 208 times. And
There's
still came in second in MVP voting.
that's what I'm saying. There's no downside to striking out. There's no wrong in striking out. Like, yes, you want to get
There's
hits.
no shame in striking out anymore. We need to bring back shame in more areas than one.
Yeah, sure, but like also that means taking less chances, right? That means less homers. If you're striking out less, you're probably not hitting as many homers because you're
Bro,
you're
if you
not.
put the ball in play, the people will come. All right, check this out. Hank Aaron. Eight,
You know what sells tickets though, bro.
eight, eight. Hank Aaron has 8 seasons where he hit 40 home runs in his career.
Okay.
22 years. Aaron Judge has been in the league. Aaron Judge has been in the league 10 seasons. He's already done it 4 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like he's probably taking double or triple the amount of chances that Hank Aaron was taking by swinging at the ball.
Yeah.
And the results show. He's literally lining up to become one of the greatest hitters ever. Like
And what I feel the worst about is that he has to share the light with Otani. He does not. He does not deserve the work that Aaron Judge is doing as a baseball player. The numbers he's accumulating, the moments he's having. He doesn't deserve to have to share the limelight with Otani, but he has to just because of timing.
I mean, and you know a little bit more about it. I think we're probably looking at 2 of the 5 greatest baseball players ever.
It's potential. When it's
Like
all said and done, they're
that's
in that room.
100%. So it's like, yeah, we're talking about sharing a spotlight, but what both of them are doing is absolutely phenomenal. Like, especially with Otani, going 50 and 50 last year, right?
and
Um,
and becoming just the second player in the history of the sport to win MVP in the American League and National League.
so
Frank Robinson.
that's my thing. Like, I think
200 game been around 200 years. Only one player has done it.
bro, I think I don't when it's
And
all
free
said
agency's
and
been around since the 60s.
honestly, I'm gonna take it a step further. We might be looking at 3. Paul Skeens, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sold, bro. I am
I
sold.
feel you.
I'm sold, man. I think obviously in baseball now, we're missing great pitchers, right? Like there used to be. Like we used to get classics,
We got throwers now. We don't have pitchers.
like we used to get Tim Lincecum versus Max Scherzer on a Tuesday, right? You know what I'm saying? Roy Halladay,
You got your bag. You got your bag.
come on, bro. Like
Oh, drop that Roy Holiday. I want to hear who's on the other side of that matchup.
Roy Halladay and CC Sabathia.
Okay, I
Like,
like that too.
we used to get these lineups. Like there's not great pitchers in today's sport. So
It's all about throwing as hard as you can and blowing your arm out 3 times.
exactly, and then getting Tommy John in your 3rd year. That's what pitching has
Bro,
turned
it's kids
into,
out here getting Tommy John in high school.
which is fucking ridiculous, bro. Um,
Like, why do you
but
have that much stress on your UCL?
my
Your
thing
own
is,
lateral.
you mix the best hitters that we've ever seen, some of the hardest hitters, some of the greatest hitters with some of the worst pitching, right? You're gonna get 60 bombs. You're gonna get the third best hitter. The third best hitter in the league is gonna hit 50 home runs or
Somebody
45.
throwing the ball 105 miles per hour right down the middle.
Yeah, I think Paul Skeens he's come at a great time
He's a
because
real good pitcher though, real pitcher.
no,
But he throws, but he
that's
throw 107.
That's my thing though. Like because we don't have real pitchers anymore. Where the fuck is Randy Johnson? You know what I mean?
They ain't making no
We
more, bro. Because
that
everything. The thing is, right? Great name you brought. Randy Johnson, Schilling, Clemens, Glavin. You know what I'm saying? Smokes,
Sabathia, yep,
Sabathia.
Maddox.
All those guys we named, maybe 2 of them had Tommy John, had to have a Tommy John. But you say because they throw so many pitches and they pitch all these innings that it's putting all the stress and strain on the pitcher's arm. No, that's not what's putting the stress on these arms. It's the lack of being able to actually pitch. It's actually to be able to know, okay, I don't have to throw this one 106 miles per hour. I could throw this one 93 and spot it up, locate it, and then I could throw my changeup at 82 off of that at the same spot, make it move, make it dance different, and I'm still getting these same outs. But because everything is spin rate and analytics and what's the other one they love? Spin rate and I don't know, some more of this technical pitching science crap. And all it's doing is blowing kids' arms out because it's
Analytic.
max stress, max everything, max pressure on your elbow every pitch instead of actually learning how to pitch.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of the greatest pitchers wasn't throwing 100 every 3rd pitch. You know
Shit,
what I'm
smoke.
saying?
I mean, damn, Glavin barely hit 93, 94. One of the greatest pitchers in the history of the sport. Greg Maddux barely hit 93, 94. You know what I'm saying? Randy Johnson threw 100. big smoke show with a big
Yeah.
nasty slider off of it. He had two options for you.
I mean, he was honestly just intimidating walking up to to the plate.
Scared.
Yeah.
My dad will tell you, bro.
Six,
He
seven,
throw the ball
looking at you.
6'9", bro. Real
Yeah,
6'9".
with a 7 foot wingspan, right?
My dad said he let that ball go. He said he's right in front of you. He like on the dirt, like of the mound. He said he let that thing go. It's like he's right there.
Bro.
You like, how am I supposed to hit this ball?
And I think it's like and this was all recent, bro. Like we just had a bunch of great pitchers, right? Like there were seasons we had maybe 10 great pitchers in one season. Like they all kind of were together,
Some of the names you threw out there already.
yeah, Clayton Kershaw as
Lincecum,
well.
Kershaw, Lincecum, Holiday, Sabathia. Like these are real Verlander. These are real
These
greats.
bro, and these are like Scherzer, yep, these are all together, bro. And like the best pitcher in baseball right now is not even pitching.
That's a fact.
Like he can come back whenever he wants and still be the best pitcher because like the next
He'll be
best
in,
pitcher.
he'll be in the room for sure.
I don't think that,
with no innings, with no innings.
bro. I don't think the next best pitcher is even close to that guy.
I don't know about that. Scooble is balling. He won.
Yeah. Okay.
He won the Cy Young, AL Cy Young last year, and he is cooking. The Tigers they're the first team to win 40 games this year, so he right back where he need to be. Scooble up there.
He is, but
I'm with you though. I'm with you.
I think he's that head and shoulders above everybody. Like
I see that though. I mean, I can't be mad at you, but it's funny. He got a similar origin story to Skeens. Started in Pittsburgh, was dominating Pittsburgh.
Really?
And then, next thing you know, Pittsburgh don't want to pay him, of course, because they can't. And they package him up. Then he goes to Houston, and then he leaves Houston to free agent. He ends up with the Yankees.
What you call it? Pittsburgh can't make that same mistake twice because this.
They absolutely will. That's what they do. That's their franchise model. What you mean? That's what's going to happen.
This is the best thing, and
he's not the first guy that they've done that with.
I think he's the best in recent memory, though.
I mean, JT Realmuto, the catcher for the Phillies, they packed him up and sent him to the Miami Marlins, and he's been one of the best catchers in the league since that day. Like,
man, PNC Park, man.
Like, I'm about to pull up a list real quick. The list of players that the Pirates have traded away since 2017. Let's see. These are names, bro. You know these names. Garrett Cole, Tyler Glasnow, another great pitcher. Austin Meadows, another great pitcher.
Wow.
I mean, Jameson Taillon, Joe Musgrave, two more very serviceable pitchers. They traded, what's it called? They traded McCutchen. They traded Josh Bell.
That one hurt.
They traded Francisco Liriano. This is all since 2017.
That doesn't make me happy to hear, being that is the hometown team of my family.
That's your lineage.
But I mean, so you do think they fuck up again and get Skeens out of there?
Oh, absolutely, bro. That's like clockwork. That's like knowing 12 o'clock is going to hit after 11. Whether it be AM or PM. 12 o'clock is after 11.
That is giving up Ohtani.
They're gonna do it because they're not gonna be able to pay. They're not gonna want to pay him.
Well, who are they saving for?
They always just trade him away and get 12 prospects back, and maybe one of them make it to the bigs, and then maybe he turns into something, and then they ship his ass out too to get 7 more guys. That's their business model, bro. Their business model is, we draft really good young players. We bring them up to the show maybe a little early, but you get to see them. We have the most beautiful ballpark in Major League Baseball with a great view. And if they make the All-Star team, their ass will be on the block next summer. That's their business model. I mean, this is the same organization that removed Roberto Clemente's number 21 off the wall right field, replaced it with advertising. So we want to make sure we're all on the same page as to what this organization is about. Roberto Clemente is the greatest player they've ever had in a top 5 player all time.
Yeah.
Maybe 10, depending on who you are, how deep back in the well you want to go. I'm not counting anything before integration. So
That's hilarious. That is, I don't know, man. But this is across all sports. Bad organizations stay bad, right? You know,
stay bad, and they stay bad on purpose, bro.
like
That's what people don't understand.
you can name 5 in like the Charlotte Hornets, right?
That's exactly what I was about to say, bro. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
They have little pockets of moments where they try to get better.
The Carolina Panthers, right? Since Cam,
don't do that. Don't do that.
the Washington Wizards.
There we go. I don't like the Panthers being in that group. I'm gonna be honest.
They haven't been good since Cam though.
Yeah, that was 17. That was the last time they made it to the playoffs. It was 2017.
They haven't, you know, they haven't
Ever
really
since TJ Watt ripped his arm out. But they on the way. They on the way.
haven't, but yeah, we can say that, but they haven't helped themselves, I feel like, as best they could.
I think Tepper's starting to figure it out.
With with some of those hirings and firings they made, but Washington Wizards was another team.
Miami Marlins,
the Oakland Raiders.
Payroll in all. Do you want to know what the payroll for the Miami Marlins is?
Having a team in Miami and having the lowest payroll should not be legal.
All right. MLB team salary payroll tracker 2025. The link would open. It'd be great. Jeez, Louise, here we go. Full list. Number 1 on this payroll list. That is money being paid this year to players. Number 1, New York Mets. They're paying $323 million to players this year.
I mean, yep, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, and then Lindor as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got some more Edwin Diaz, goddamn Mr. Trumpet.
Yeah.
So they got big names.
Yeah.
First place in the division right now, so it's paying off, it looks like. Number 2 on the list, top 3 teams you expect.
New York.
Probably not in this order, but Mets, Dodgers, Yankees. Those are the top 3.
Yeah.
They're all well over $290 million spent. Miami Marlins are spending $67 million.
Yo, Jaylen Brown is making their whole. Jason Tatum is making.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are making as much this year as Miami Marlins is paying their entire roster.
What is that about, bro?
They're just not investing in it. You know what I'm saying? They're not. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams under $100 million spent this year. Miami Marlins, the Athletics, who have no home. They don't even have a city in front of their name. It just says Athletics.
That's insane.
Yeah, for those who don't know, they moved out of Oakland. They're in Sacramento this year, playing in a fucking minor league park that they renovated. And then their plan is to be moved to Vegas, but that's not official yet. Number 3, Tampa Bay Rays, always in that area. Chicago White Sox, coming off the worst year in the history of the sport last year. They're right there. Number 5, Pittsburgh Pirates. $87 million spent this year. Most of that's going to Paul Skeens as the former number 1 pick.
Most of it's going to Paul Skeens?
I mean, a good chunk of it is. Good chunk.
They don't have anybody worth the dollar amount on that team, bro.
I mean, Kutch is on a vet deal. O'Neal Cruz is probably getting paid a good portion of that too.
I mean, you can go far with a little bit in Pittsburgh, so no disrespect to that city, but you can live well on a little. Great historical city, though, I should
But
say.
the teams at the top of the payrolls are the teams that are always in the mix: Yankees,
Yeah.
Dodgers, Mets, Phillies, Rangers, Astros, Braves, Padres. Those are all teams that are always
And they all have well-known players as well. They all have superstars.
all of them. All of
I
them.
don't know. This
But you gotta
is
pay. You gotta pay to play, baby.
yeah.
All sports, all walks of life. You gotta pay to play. You say dating, work,
All right.
professional sports.
All right. Let's all right. I think that's I think that's enough for today before we
I'm gonna say, should we clip that one? I think we should clip that one.
yeah. I think that's enough for
150, 150, 15.
yeah, that's the end of the episode right there. Before you let out any more information that on this family show, man. This is a
We
family
are a
show.
family show. We family, brother. We family.
Yeah, so yeah, pay to play. We could have left it right there, before we take it anywhere else, man.
All walks of life.
All walks of life, sure. We can leave it at that, right? We can
Stop
leave
right
it
there.
at,
Stop right there.
we're gonna leave it at that. Thank you though. We got the NBA Finals on the way. We have the Stanley Cup on the way. What we did
This
not
game
get
is
to
crazy. 3 goals in the first period.
what we did not get to talk about, which we will talk about next time. Scotty Scheffler, right? We're out of time today though, but man, what he's doing!
Oh, he
Wow.
pissed me off so bad, bro.
I mean,
He make it look so easy, bro.
yeah, he's probably the best at his sport, bet as good as anybody is at their sport right now. You can put him, he can rub shoulders with Otani and Shea Gilgeous and Lamar Jackson right now. So it's like,
For real.
but we'll get back to that. Yeah,
Name F1.
yeah. Oh, Verstappen, right. So we got Stanley Cup, we got the NBA Finals coming up. WNBA's hot, there's conversations to be had there here as well. Football's in the way as well. And I don't know, while we're still here,
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on.
The Diddy trials are happening.
I didn't know where you was going.
The Diddy trials are happening.
He's Louise.
Sean
Diddler Combs.
The Diddler. And I was actually looking back, and we're still having the same conversation we were having a year ago because he was up for Nasty Man of the Year award a year ago. And he's still up for it now, right?
He's the reigning Nasty Man.
Bro, yeah, he might be the Nasty Man champion,
Grand
back to
champion, like
hey,
we say, like the top grand champion.
back to back. We might have
We
to
say the
name,
tournament of champions.
brother. We might have to name it the Diddy Award.
We say like the Michael Jordan finals hit.
The Diddy Award, bro. But yeah, no, that's
Diddy Award.
this is we're not gonna get too crazy. First episode back, right? Let's keep it structural. Let's keep it family oriented. Let's not go all the way left. You know what I mean? But yep, we'll be back next week. After we get to watch some finals, Stanley Cup finals, all of that stuff. Thank y'all
More
for
baseball.
tuning in. More baseball as well. But
Watch a baseball game.
if we can, if Shohei and Aaron Judge can calm the fuck down, and we can
talk about Jose Ramirez.
Maybe we could talk about Jose Ramirez. Maybe we could talk about Ronald Acuna, right? Like there's people that
No, we gotta go back. Ronaldo Acuna Jr. He had a Cam Newton rip the helmet off moment. I'm back.
Yeah.
I mean, what an opening series off the ACL.
The first swing.
Wham.
That's
the second game was where my man was at eating the 14-foot long hot dog.
All right, man. Yeah. See that, and that's exactly why we have to end it now, because we tried to get back to something serious, and now you want to go back to the Glizzy Gobbler. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I told him, I said, boy, you give Joey Chestnut a run for his money.
All right, man. Hey, man, like, comment, subscribe.
We're July. It's on the way.
we're good. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna be on Instagram a little bit more, so give us some topics to talk about, which y'all like to hear, which y'all don't like to hear. But appreciate y'all tuning in. Shout out to everybody. Yeah, so let us know.